see who jumps on. Should have played some music.
So you want to do?
I should have played some music. You
want to do all of?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll
just see where the flow
We'll
goes.
play it by ear.
Because I know Michelle, I think, wanted me to do this.
You do know we're live, right?
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's why it says live 33 seconds up there.
Oh, hey, y'all. Welcome. It is 7 o'clock. It's Saturday night. Riverside, Iowa Paranormal. Going to do a quick live. Say hello. We're still out there. We're short some people tonight. It's just you, me, and you, Jake.
Yep. Yes, it is.
We're short some people because, let's see. Drew's at work. He's got to work tonight all night long. 8 to 8. That's got to suck.
Yeah, that's a rough.
So Drew's got to work tonight. Kelly and Michelle are at the Glore Museum in St. Joseph, Missouri. They are actually going to be starting in about an hour and a half over there. I think they have a bunch of guests for Ghost Hunts USA. Oh, almost got my photo. Forgot my photo. Got to get that up there. Got to show some props. There we go. They're out there with Ghost Hunts USA. They have a bunch of guests out there. Did you hear about the new announcement for Ghost Hunts?
I knew they were making one. I didn't hear what it was though.
It's a new hotel over in Illinois. And
maybe I did hear about this.
I can't remember the name of it. Something Springs.
Mineral Springs?
Well, no. It's some other different name. We looked up the history on it. When the hotel was built, something about, hey Aaron, what's happening, sweetie? When the hotel was built, there was something about the water was tested and it was supposed to have healing properties.
Yeah, that's Mineral Springs.
Is it? Okay. Then they bottled it and sold it all over the United States.
Yep.
Which was hilarious.
In Illinois?
Yeah, there's one over in Illinois. So it's not too far from us.
No, it's not.
I can't remember. Aaron, do you remember where that new hotel is at for Ghost Hunts? If you're there watching, listening, we're babbling on right now. But yeah, it looks like that's a new one. Again, Ghost Hunts USA, y'all. Right there. Props. See what we got coming up. Anything else in February? I don't think we have anything else in February, really. We're just going to keep doing some shows. We got a couple of private ones that we're going to go take care of this month. Next month, everything works out right, we will be with Ghost Hunts USA down in Missouri State Penitentiary. By the way, congratulations. Got picked up by Ghost Hunts USA, Mr. Jake.
Yes, I did.
Congratulations on that one. Welcome to the team. It gets a little, we have fun. We do have fun. Lots of new little projects coming up through Ghost Hunts. Lots of new projects that we're working on. You want to do me a favor? You want to go over to the stand over there and grab the Pharaoh? We might as well show the world the Pharaoh. Bring it out. Aaron, you probably remember me talking about this. We built a omnidirectional EMF detector. We're going to put it right here in the middle of the table. Going to light it up so everybody can see it. Little omnidirectional EMF detector. There's actually 3 EMF detectors built into one. Set up like a pyramid, so that way if anything happens, you can. Yeah, you should be. Are you not on Wi-Fi?
I am.
You should be on Wi-Fi. This is our newest little toy. I'm gonna try to angle it just a little bit so you guys can actually see it if it goes off. Oh, we just had something blink over there. Let's see if I can trigger it with my phone here. I don't know if it's gonna trigger or not.
Even if I'm running an app that requires internet.
Really? You're not? Oh no, it's triggering on the backside back here.
Yeah, a little bit. Let's see.
Well, we'll see what happens here. See if we can get something to trigger off. Well, it's coming. There we go. Yeah, Jake's able to trigger it and set it off just a little bit. Just barely. And the batteries could be low. We've been playing with it quite a lot, so I noticed that one battery is a little low on this side. Well, it's not very bright on that side. The brightest one's to the back. Yep, we got a lot of things going on here. Like I said, those guys are out running around. We're stuck here. But it was a nice day.
It was.
Oh my God, was it a beautiful day.
I was inside all day.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Can't keep going, otherwise I got to pay royalties just singing the song. I don't want to pay royalties. I don't want to play. Anything exciting happening in your world? Ghostly? Apparition-y? Whoa!
Kind of, sort of. So oh gosh, what was it, a week or so ago now? I was talking to a friend of mine on Facebook, and I had talked to some people, and I have even talked to you about this a little bit too, Bill, about mediumship abilities and those kinds of things. And I was talking to this friend of mine on Facebook through the Messenger app, and then I started seeing this woman, and she was an older woman. She was holding a baby.
Okay.
And so I asked her, I said, does this mean anything to you? There's this older woman. She's holding a baby, maybe a grandmother, great-grandmother, something like that. Gave her a little bit more details of what the woman was wearing, what she looked like. And all of a sudden, she just sends me OMG. And I'm like, what? She goes, that's my grandmother, and the baby she's holding is my older sister who died as a baby.
Is grandma dead?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Died before my friend really got to even meet her.
Well, that sucks.
Because I don't know if she's the youngest, but she's got a lot of siblings.
Cool.
So that was kind of...
Lots of siblings. That was a happy family during the wintertime. Happy, happy, happy.
So that was cool.
Let's see. So tonight, I don't know how long we're going to last, but we'll keep going. We've been live. Wow, 7 minutes. That was a fast 7 minutes.
It was.
Tonight, we're going to discuss something that we've discussed a little bit, very vaguely, actually. I'll talk about I think we should start with the crystals. I'll let you introduce each one of the crystals you have, and then we'll talk about what properties there are. What is that big ass one right there?
The sphere?
Yeah.
That's labradorite.
Do that one last. That one's kind of cool. Don't give it to me. I'll drop it and break it. I won't break it.
All right, so we'll start with the one probably most people are familiar with, black background. This is clear quartz. This is just clear quartz point right now. A lot of times with clear quartz or things that are advertised as clear quartz will not have this kind of cloudy look, which is hard to see on the camera. And that just means that, well, it could mean one of two things. Either it's not actually quartz and it's glass, or they took the quartz, they melted it down, removed the impurities, and then
so
let it crystallize.
Y'all, quartz is an easy one to spot to actually figure out. If they say it's quartz and it's crystal clear like water, it's been tampered with. There's something wrong with it. Quartz is meant to have flaws in it. It's meant to have cloudiness to it. It's meant to have little bubbles and maybe even some fractures into the inside of it. That's how you know when it's real. So if you see, I'm holding a piece of quartz right here. Look at it. See how clear it is? Look, it's clear. I'll get rid of it. No, that one I just threw away. That was crap. You want them, they need to be cloudy. Don't get me wrong, it's cool to have a big, huge, clear crystal sitting up on your shelf or carrying with you. But in nature, nothing is completely clear.
Right.
In nature, it's not a clarity thing for crystals. Sometimes I honestly think the cloudier the crystal, that means the more that crystal's been through. So if I guess now this is where I'm going to go over to you. When a crystal's forming, if something falls on there, heck, Kelly, if something gets on the crystal, can the crystal grow around it and absorb it?
It can. You actually see that a lot, like in the world of gemology. What they refer to that is in matrix.
Okay.
And so that means it's
matrix.
growing inside or off of another crystal. And so there are different ones that you can find in matrix. Like I've got one at home that's blue kyanite, and it's got the nice pretty blue color. If you've ever seen a blue kyanite, it looks really cool. And then it's just on like a brown base, so it's actually growing on top of that brown rock. So they call that being in matrix.
So where do crystals form at? I mean, what? Okay, let's talk
in the ground.
Oh, shut up! Somebody shoot me. No, I mean, okay, is there a specific type of stone that produces the crystals? A specific type of soil? Is it air conditions? Is it temperature? What causes a crystal to form?
This is my okay.
That's why I did that.
Crystals are actually.
I won't break it. I promise. Just kidding. I won't break it.
No, so all crystals. Well, actually, let me back up a step. All rocks contain crystals. Usually it's more than just one. It might be a few different crystals. Hi, Kelly. That was super delayed. But so what happens is when crystals are forming, they have a specific chemical formula. And quartz is a silicate. So it's mostly silicon and oxygen that are bound together. And different there we go. Different crystals will have different chemical structures. And so what that means is they have different compounds or different molecular formulas. So different elements bind together in different ways to form each type of crystal.
I have the power.
And then what happens is when they first get together, when those molecules are first interacting, it's in liquid form down beneath the Earth's crust. And so it's super hot and it's molten. And then as...
have you looked outside? It's freezing. How can it be molten? Just kidding. Go ahead.
So glad you paid attention. And so what happens is the crystals, as they cool, their molecules form what's called a crystal lattice. And that basically just means the shape that the crystal will take when it's a solid. So, for example, salt and sugar form that nice cube. Generally, that's because their molecules, when it cools down, they bind and form a cuboidal structure. And so the longer it takes to cool, the larger the size of the crystals. Oh. The more rapidly it cools, the smaller the crystals will be.
Okay, so this crystal right here, and I know a lot of times we want to talk about crystals, and we're going to get to what properties spiritually these ones. These smooth edges, was this ground this way? Or is that a natural formation to have these smooth, sharp, crystal cut edges?
Some of them will form versions of that. It may not necessarily be that clean. So this particular sample, like on the back and on the sides, it's completely smooth.
Yeah.
And then down on the bottom is also completely smooth. And you can see, Bill, you can probably see it, that there's little, almost like a threshold there at the bottom.
Yep.
Almost like a platform it's sitting on. That was probably buffed in that way.
The bottom.
Yes. And then some of these have probably been smoothed out a little bit.
But these ones on the sides, these are naturally forming like this.
Yeah, they might have been sanded down just a little bit to get rid of any grains or anything coming off of the crystal. But it does, clear quartz will naturally form this point-like shape.
So what are the what paranormal wise?
It's an amplifier. So
elaborate.
So what that means is if you're using any other crystals, like crystals for protection or for grounding, so your tourmaline, your obsidian, your jet, all those kinds of things, this will amplify those. So it makes them work a little bit stronger, a little bit better. But then also quartz is programmable, so you can actually put I shouldn't say any, but up to 6, I think it is, different intentions into one quartz crystal at a time.
So then could you take this crystal?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know how my brain works. Could you take this crystal and bore out the center and put a piece of I can't even say it, tremolline in it?
Yeah.
And would it amplify it even more?
Yeah.
Because they're...
That's probably me.
Okay.
Something up here.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
And then some other uses.
I thought you knew all this.
I know most of it.
Y'all, Google is your friend.
Yes.
Make sure you use Google every day because it's a lovely thing.
It also is supposed to open the mind and heart to higher guidance if you meditate with it, allowing the realm of spirit to be transmitted and translated into the world of physical form. So it might be helpful in allowing for spirits to manifest themselves.
Okay.
I already talked about the amplification.
So if someone's going to go out and do what we do, and they're worried about going into a location they've never been before, so they take their tremoline and put it in there. Some people carry a pouch around their neck and they put their tremoline in there.
Yep.
Would it be smart to add a piece of natural quartz to it?
It's not going to hurt. If I would always say, if you're ever weary and not sure, put it in there because it's not going to hurt. Y'all
heard that, right? Ain't gonna hurt nothing. Put it in there. Come on.
Oh, that was a poor choice of words.
Okay. No, put it in with the. Shut up.
And there are different other crystals that are still within the quartz family. For example, amethyst is a specific type of quartz, and so amethyst, people are known, or they know that amethyst has that nice purple color. That comes from, I don't remember which element it is specifically, but that comes from a certain element besides just the silicon and the oxygen that are involved in the molecules of amethyst. So it's still technically quartz, but it's also got that nice purple color based on a
spiritual indicators. Well, what does it do?
It's good for opening the third eye and developing or aiding in the development of different types of psychic ability. It can also be used for mental clarity, and it's also a good stone for breaking addictions, actually. So this is
Hey Diana, what's up?
Hi Diana. That's a good crystal a lot for people that are battling different types of addictions like alcoholism.
So how would you use it for something like that? Just keep it with you? Let the energy of the stone come to you?
I would probably still charge it. And so when I say charging a stone, that means you're essentially programming it to the energy that you're wanting to put into that stone. So for example, clear quartz, if you wanted to charge clear quartz, you would hold on to it and you would focus on certain types of thoughts or certain types of energies, and then you would imagine or visualize that going from yourself into the stone. And then that's called programming. So I would always do that just to be safe, just to be sure.
That's cool. See, I didn't know that. So I have several different stones. You've given me some. I thank you very much for them. We all carry different stones, and I never understood. You've actually made it very clear, the programming piece of it. There's not a lot of. I've heard people say you just put your energy into it. Well, I don't think that works that way. You have to you almost have to visualize the energy going into there.
Yep. That's what you're supposed to do when you charge stones.
So,
and I totally agree, Diana. Purple is very calming.
So my question now would be, once you charge the stone, then you just keep it with you? What happens if this one? So, is this one of the stones you need to lay in the sun?
No, do not put amethyst in the sun. It'll bleach.
Really?
Certain stones will bleach if you put them in sunlight. Smoky quartz, which I have a big sample of here on the table, which I'll show in a second, that'll bleach. Amethyst will bleach. And something called celestite, which is a nice, pretty blue color, that will bleach. Sunstone will bleach, and then there are some that you can't.
Sunstone will bleach, but it's called sunstone. Why can't you put it in the sun? That's not smart.
And then also there are some that if you get them wet, they will dissolve in water because they're too soft of a mineral.
And you don't feed them after midnight. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Come on, good Gremlins joke.
We've got the exposing them to bright light. We've got the can't get them wet. All we're missing is the don't feed them after midnight.
All right, what's the next one you got there?
Smoky quartz. This is actually one of my newest additions.
Dang, that's huge.
And And smoky quartz is big for transmutation, which is a really fancy way of saying it takes negative energy and works to make it become positive energy. So a lot of people will put smoky quartz crystals at the entrance of doorways. That way, if they have a bad day from work, that negative energy they bring through the doorway gets transmuted or changed into positive energy.
So is this something you could, people always talk about they have, or the day at work just sucks. Mm-hmm. Could they put this in their like office?
Yeah,
with them, so
some
then to try to change the energy in the office.
Some people do.
There's a certain person that's on here with us right now. I do believe that we should probably get several of these and send them to all of us, and big ones. That way we can hit people with. No, just kidding. I'll change your attitude one way or another. Oh, that's cool as crap.
And they're not all that dark. Some of them are a lighter brownish color.
Okay.
Some are almost black. And usually your dark crystals like this, or even your tourmaline, your black onyx, your jet, pneumite, those kinds of things. Those are the dark color is really good for grounding and protection.
Okay.
As well. So smoky quartz can be used for that as well, which goes along with the transmuting the negative energy and making it positive.
Okay, cool.
Then
what else you got over there?
This one is R.I.P 23. And
is it a beer?
I'm not sure why they call it R.I.P, but the 23 refers to the fact that there are 23 different minerals in this stone altogether.
What the hell?
So there's amethyst, there's something called, I don't know if I'm saying this right, I've never heard anyone say it before, cacoxenite, which is usually a darker colored crystal, almost a black or a brown. It's not me, I swear. But
oh wow,
it's got 23 different minerals that make that up, and so as a result, it has the properties of all 23 of them.
So is that amethyst in there?
Yeah, there is some amethyst.
Yep. Looks like quartz.
Yep, there's clear quartz, there's smoky quartz, there's amethyst.
So this will enhance. It will change moods. It will do. This is actually very cool. Sorry, y'all. I'm using a flashlight to kind of look through this thing because what I wish I had it on camera to show everybody.
This is what crystalvaults.com says about it. It's primarily amethyst
Brittany!
and citrine. Brittany! It says it's primarily amethyst and citrine. The majority of its energy from the violet-colored quartz it contains is the amethyst. It's considered one of the 12 gems of the breastplate of the high priest and is the stone of the ring of the Catholic bishop. Hence, the bishop's stone is what it's also known as. Deep purple color, the amethyst presents an atmosphere of pious calm and is the stone of spirituality and contentment. It does.
Stephanie is here with us.
It does also aid. It heightens your awareness and telepathic connection with guides and guardian spirits.
What's the name of this again?
R.I.P 23. Now, there's another stone that looks very, 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 very similar, and that's called a Super 7 stone. Same idea, but instead of 23, it's
7.
only got 7. And I have a sphere of that, so you can see what I mean by they look very similar.
Why aren't we all carrying this? One of these. Oh, you give me something round and pretty. Great. Now I'm going to break it. Why aren't we all carrying something like this? It seems like it has a little bit of everything that we all should be carrying when we're doing investigations.
I've got one in my bag, actually, that I do carry with me.
See, as round and as pretty as this one is, and nice and smooth, and you can tell it's been smooth, and it looks about the size of an 8-ball or a cue ball. Yep. Not an 8-ball, but round and knocking the hole, billiard ball. I'm handing you that in my back because I don't want to put it on the table because it'll roll off. I'm actually saying I like this one better. I think this is really cool. And it's very raw, too. Uh-huh. This one is just looks like they broke off a piece, boom, and they were done.
Yep.
They've done a little bit of grinding here. I wonder if that's where they cut it.
It could be.
To break it off. Because this looks like it was up on the side of something.
Crystals have what's called sites of cleavage. And those are just No, not that kind of cleavage.
Okay, just asking.
They are places where the crystal will naturally break and still maintain its crystal lattice structure. So, for example, sugar or salt, they have points of separation where you could break them along and still make little cubes, and those are called cleavage points. And so that could be what that back end was, is maybe that was a cleavage point.
Okay. So this one kind of just, you can use this one for enhancing, for changing mood, clarity,
contacting
guidance.
your guides, telepathic connections.
And again, you want to put your energy into it.
Yes.
Well, this is yours, so I'm not even going to think about putting energy into it. So I want to make sure, because this one is yours. But that's a cool stone.
I'm going to put...
I'm going to lay this one over here before I drop it and break it.
Well, since I got this one out, might as well talk about it. Again, this is Super 7, so it's just like the Auralite 23, but instead of 23 different minerals, it's only got 7. So same idea, it's primarily amethyst, so it's got a lot of that connection to your guides and your third eye, and a little bit of protection in there with the cacoxenite, which is a black stone. So that's a good one to have too. That's got multiple purposes.
I want to apologize to everybody out there. I know the stones are far away. We're running with one camera right now. I'd love to have a camera right here. There you go. So maybe Jake will get some exercise. We'll have him run back and forth with all of them sooner or later. Yeah, put that in the middle. All right, so what's the next one? You got that big honking one.
This one,
you can see through it.
No, you can't. It's reflecting light.
Look at Susie's butt. I saw the screen through the edge of it.
Oh, through the edge you can. But I was looking right on. I was like, you can't see through that.
Yeah.
On the edges you can. I would say that's probably more of a reflection than seeing through it. But that's labradorite. That is a common stone for one of the anniversaries, actually. I just don't remember which one.
So you're supposed to get your wife stoned.
You see it a lot in rings, jewelry, earrings, those kinds of things. And labradorite is known as the stone of the new moon. So it's a really, if you follow moon cycles and do things along those moon cycles, then labradorite is a really good stone for the new moon.
How many different stones are in here?
1. Labradorite itself is a mineral.
That's wild.
And so there are different specimens of labradorite. Some, now the defining feature of labradorite, first of all, I should say, is that it reflects light into these really cool colors. Now, depending on the sample, it might be more of a bluish green teal color. This one's got some of that. It's also got a little bit of gold and yellow. I've seen some of them do a purple, some of them do red. They call that fire labradorite, orange, that kind of stuff. So it depends on the sample that you get. I'm
handing it back.
That'll make the different colors.
I don't want to drop it. I don't want to break anything.
Reflect off.
That is cool. So
you can see the different colors.
What's the properties on that one? Oh yeah, I can see them. Properties for spiritual. What is it? What will it do for us? Other than you could throw it at a ghost and probably knock them out. That thing's so heavy.
This one is good for protection and shielding of the aura. It also strengthens natural energies from within.
It's good for protection because you can beat somebody with it.
It protects against negativity and misfortunes of this world and provides safe exploration into alternate levels of consciousness and facilitating visionary experiences from the past or the future. Now, Todd actually has a sample of this, not this big of one, that I gave to him. So he's got one of these himself.
Todd's lucky. Jake likes Todd.
Oh, you got something too. It also allows one's innate magical powers to surface, enhances mental intuitive abilities of clairvoyance, telepathy, prophecy, and coincidence control, and assists in communication with higher guides and spirits and accessing something called the Akashic Records, psychic readings, and past life recall. Provides an ease in moving between the worlds and permits a safe and grounded return to the present.
So here's my question. Out of the ones you have laying here on the table, the ones you brought tonight,
yep,
which ones would you say, which ones would you say to carry with you. Let's start there. Carry with you. We already know the crystal.
Yep, clear quartz.
Clear quartz and the amethyst. Both are very good for helping out with a little bit of protection. Larry Simon, what's up, buddy? But which ones? So we go out to do an investigation. If you could only pick 2 to take with you, what's your number 1 going to be? Out of the ones you have here, because I know you have lots of other ones too. You have to pick one of the ones right here.
It's a toss-up between either the Orlite 23 or the Smoky Quartz.
You said Orlite 23, and this thing went nuts.
I know. I saw it go and I picked it up.
Because the Orlite 23, is that going to contain the Smoky Quartz in it?
It does have a little bit, yeah.
Because I know there's a lot of quartz right here at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Some of that darker color, like up here at the top, you can see it goes to a purple, almost a black. That's some of the Smoky Quartz and some other minerals that give it that darker color.
So here's my question, because it's going to be a little weird. Say I'm having trouble working my way to contact or figure things out.
Mm-hmm.
And I put crystals around or I want to put something near my bed when I sleep to allow me to maybe to help me out a little bit. Amethyst?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Amethyst or clear quartz?
Okay.
I mean, depending on what it is you're trying to get out of it, I would say those 2.
Number 1, answers, because I'm still fighting for answers. Number 2, sleep, maybe. I figured if Kelly takes the big one, she can just bash me on the head and I'll go to sleep. Go to bed.
Now there is
not how she does it. Don't worry, she doesn't hit me over the head.
I can't think
I've hit my head enough.
I can't think of the names of any right now, but I know that there are certain crystals that are specific to aid in sleep. I just can't remember what any of them are right now. Okay. I have one of these by my bed. Not that looks like this, but I do have an amethyst by my bed.
Somebody once told me that the larger the crystal, the more powerful it is.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true? Do you?
I don't personally believe that that's true. I've seen a lot of debate on that, but I personally don't believe that to be true because the energy comes from the minerals that make up the crystal. And what I mean by that is, I'm going to go a little sciencey on people here, but all matter, the molecules that make up matter, so table, Bill's Pharaoh, Bill's hat, Bill's skin, my skin, all that kind of stuff, is made up of molecules. And when they are in solid form, like in crystals like this, they're usually locked in place, but they vibrate. They kind of shake.
So these are vibrating. All molecules are vibrating right now.
Yep. And that is actually what temperature is. Temperature is a measure of something called the average kinetic energy, which is a really fancy way for saying, on average, how much are those molecules vibrating in place?
Y'all didn't know how much you were going to learn tonight, did you?
So that's temperature. Now, all matter, depending on its temperature, is going to have different vibration amounts based on the temperature. But we could still have 2 substances at the same temperature, and you'd still get some, one would have more of that vibration than the other. And that's because of the molecules that make this up and the frequency. And so the energy actually comes from the vibrating.
Okay.
Different amounts of vibration gives off a different amount of energy.
Okay.
For each stone.
Okay.
And that's why some people, I've read before where some people will pick up an Orlite 23 and it burns their hand because it doesn't mix well with the energy of their self.
Is that one of the reasons why you'll see people talk about you got to hold a stone before you take it to see if it's, and some people say if it gets warm, it's good. It's more in tune with you already. Mm-hmm. Is that what that means?
Yes. Now, some people will also get physically sick.
Hey, Mason, what's happening?
If they hold certain stones, like moldavite is a big one that some people...
Moldavite?
Moldavite.
Okay.
That's actually created when meteorites collide with Earth. And so that one...
That's how the dinosaurs died.
That one, a lot of people get physically ill if they hold that one. Or Some people have it in jewelry or on a necklace.
So
and a
if you
pendant.
put one in your hand and it feels like it's getting colder than what it was when it first started.
I would say put it down, and don't get that one.
Okay.
At the same time, though, don't pick one up and then if it like burns you and you physically can't hold on to it, I would say stay away from that one as well.
I've never had one burn me. I've had some get warm, but I always attribute it to the fact that I put off a lot of body heat, and that my heat is what's warming it up. But
now, scientifically, to a point, that is true. That does happen.
So, what's the best way to test one? Would you take it and just hold it like this, open hand, so you're not? Because if you're holding it like this, and you're putting your hand going,
yeah,
it's getting warmer. Well, yeah, it's getting warmer because your hand is warm. But if you
I would hold it open-handed,
hold
like
it
that,
flat in your hand, and if it feels like it's getting warm, then it's probably meant for you. Okay.
Also, too, another big thing is a lot of times when I am at metaphysical stores looking for different things, something will just happen to catch my eye, and then I can't look away from it. And so that's a good indicator that was meant for you as well. And some people will feel a physical connection to a stone.
I'm like, I walk into the stores that have these things. I'm like a blonde looking at shiny objects. Woo! Not picking on any blondes out there, but I'm just saying, ooh, shiny, pretty object. Sorry, I had to. So, yeah. Okay, so we talked about stones. We're going to jump over, and we're going to go to what I know you are very good at. Because I've seen you do it. I've seen you work them. I've seen you talk to people. If you want to put that one back in your bag real quick. I hate to see that one roll off the table. I just want to
move these ones out of the way.
So while he's doing that, we're going to actually, he's going to pull, I've seen Jake do this several times. I've seen him work with people. I've seen him shock the crank out of people mentally when he does this. He's got his tarot cards with him.
You've had me do this for you. Once was your choice.
Yep.
And then I think every time after that was I asked you if I could.
Yep. So what I would like to do, who else is watching right now? I'm not quite sure if they're watching. I'm hoping they're still there. They should be getting ready to get started on their it's 7:30. They might be getting ready to get started. So I want to ask, number one, where did tarot cards come from? Do you know? Do you roughly know can you overview history?
Kind of. Another deck that I have is actually Italian, and it's called the Visconti Sforza deck. And that's the oldest complete deck that they have found. And now tarot itself was a game. It was a card game called Trumps.
Called what?
Trumps.
Okay.
Which is why sometimes your major arcana, which is your death card, tower card, those kinds of things, those are also referred to as trumps.
Okay.
Now, I don't know how the game is played. I've tried to find that, and I haven't found anything that's given me a set of rules or anything. But I do know that it was originally a card game. It was not used at first to give readings.
Okay.
And then this particular deck, one of the most famous, the Rider-Waite deck. So Arthur E. Waite, and I don't remember Ryder's first name. They were members of an organization. I can't remember how it starts, but it's something of the Golden Dawn, and they used some of those principles and created their own tarot deck. And as far as I have found, that's when it started being used for divination and doing readings and those kinds of things.
Okay.
But that was 19th century. So there were a few hundred years where it's existed that I haven't been able to find the history on.
So there's a lot of misconceptions about tarot cards.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people and I've heard these words, tarot cards are nothing more than witchcraft.
Mm-hmm.
Tarot cards are We'll get to that in a minute, Todd. He's got several decks laying here on the table.
We're only going to use one.
We're just going to use one, though. We'll let you see him here in a little bit. Tarot cards are evil. Tarot cards are a way to talk to the devil. They lead right to the devil. What do you feel?
I have never had anything bad happen as a result of doing readings with tarot cards. So based on my own experience, I don't think there's anything evil or dark about them. I think a lot of the hysteria comes from a lack of understanding or knowing what it really is. And yes, they are more commonly used nowadays for a practice called divination, which is like your fortune telling and those kinds of things. Excuse me. And a lot of people see that as going against God. I've heard some people argue that we as mortals are not meant to know the future and all of those kinds of things. So maybe there's somewhere that's getting misunderstood or miscommunicated, but I'm not super religious myself. So I have a hard time making and seeing that point of view just because I've never really bought into that belief system.
Okay, so I actually have to fix something that I said. Todd didn't ask how many decks of cards are there. He actually asked how many cards are in a deck. How many cards are there?
78 in a traditional tarot deck. There are some decks that call themselves tarot decks that have less than that. And I would actually call those something very similar, and those are called oracle decks. Used the same way, you can do readings with them and those kinds of things. Oracle decks, to me, tend to be a little bit more open-ended and open to interpretation, whereas the tarot deck tends to be a little bit more concise and black and white.
Okay, so...
But there are 78 cards, 22 major arcana or trumps, and then 56, they call them pips, and those are where you find your suits like cups, swords, wands, and pentacles. Okay. And then it goes through your core card.
So some of the ones that I've seen, I've been looking at several different ones. Swords is obviously a sword. Mm-hmm. Staffs is you'll see the staff. Cups, it's going to be a cup on there. But is there a difference between, because I think they're the same, pentacles and coins?
Yes, they are the same.
Okay. So for anybody who's a redneck like me, a pentacle and a coin are the same thing.
And then also another one of the most famous tarot decks that have come out from Aleister Crowley, instead of using coins or pentacles, it uses discs.
Like computer?
It's just called discs. They look more like a pentacle.
Computer discs?
Discs.
Okay. Are they floppy disks? Are they...
To bring it to a level you can understand.
Are they... How much do they hold? How many gigabytes is in each one? Is there a terabyte in each card? Come on, I need to know these things. I'm a tech guy. Let's go.
Depends on which number card you get, Bill, I suppose.
We have not been drinking yet.
I have not. Let's just be very clear about that.
So different cards. Now, I want to talk about one card in particular because, again, I'm on my beginning journey of learning about tarot. And learning how to read a card. There's one card that I have noticed that every time everybody sees it, they freak out. And I want to get it clarified and on here, and you know exactly which card I'm going to say.
Yes, I do.
It is the death card. Now, I'm going to tell you what I've been told, and this is actually what Jake's told me, and other people have told me. The death card does not mean death. Death card means a new beginning. Is that true? I mean, or you're looking, something could start, something is about to change. There's a new beginning getting ready to happen.
Essentially, yes. You can be a little bit more specific to that. And where a lot of people see death, they think that means death of a person. That's not, in fact, I've never come across an instance where that's what it's meant. So I would say that that's extremely rare, if ever. And so what it has come to mean is that it's the death of either a habit or a thought process or a way of thinking,
Okay.
or a belief system, or a relationship or something like that. It's the ending of something. And when it's kind of like that old saying, once one door closes, another door opens. So once one thing dies, something else is reborn. There's your new beginning.
Okay. So y'all remember that, please. Death card doesn't mean you're going to die. It means you're going to change. Something's going to change. If you're doing a reading on someone and the death card comes up, what's their first reaction?
I've never had anyone make any vocalizations, but I've seen people's eyes get really wide.
And you look at them and go, hold on, let's talk.
Now, when I do reading, there's one of two things I will do. I will either go, hold on, we'll get to that, or I go, oh, that's going to be a fun one.
Oh, you're evil. You're an ass.
I did that to you when I gave you the first reading. I went, that's going to be a fun one. You're like, what does that mean? I said, we'll get to it.
Did I get the death card?
No, you didn't. I don't think you did.
I don't remember.
You got the devil.
Yeah.
You did get the devil. I think that was the one I said, that's going to be a fun one. And you're like, what does that mean?
Well, I waited and I let you. So, yeah. So when you're sitting down with somebody and you're going to do reading, and what's your process? How do you get started? Is it a mental thing that starts with you? Is it a mental piece that starts with you internally, where you're trying to do you have to? Is it like a real fast meditation style of mental piece where you have to? Okay, we know where this is getting ready to happen. We're gonna go here. Boom, 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 boom.
It is. I wouldn't say that I necessarily plan it out step by step, but I do look at it and go, okay, this is the type of spread I have in mind. This is the question that I'm thinking about. This is ultimately what I'm trying to get guidance on, something like that.
Is that doing a reading for yourself? Or is that, like, say, if you're going to do a reading for me right now?
Yes. For myself, I would do that. If I were to give you a reading right here, right now,
okay,
then I would do something similar and go, okay, I still usually will have the spread picked out. Or someone will say, let's do a 3-card. And I'll go, okay, fine. And then I get that solidified into my mind is that it's a 3-card reading. It depends on the person. Some people will ask their questions aloud. Some people won't. If I know what the question is aloud, then I do some mental preparation. Go, okay, this is what they're trying to look at answers for. If they don't give that to me, then it turns into more of where I give the cards an opportunity to tap into the energy of that person. And I might even do that too if I know the person's question.
Okay, so and I'm talking to one card here because I don't want to go through the whole 300,000 cards again. If anybody that's out there right now, that's watching and listening, wants Jake to do a 1-card reading on me, because I do have a question in mind, you guys say so on here. And if you're okay with it, we'll do a 1-card reading. Just an uno, one. And if he pulls that devil card or that death card, I'm going to listen to him, see what he says. But yeah, you guys going to make that decision if you want to see what he comes up with. And there, so we're watching on the board, waiting to see.
We actually did kind of an interesting, almost like a tag team reading about a week.
That was wild. That was
almost 2 weeks ago, where you had your deck out. You were shuffling. The person told you.
Of course, you'd say
the person told you to stop, so you stopped, and then you went down the side and said, "Tell me when to stop," and they said stop. So that's where you cut the card or cut the deck, and then you pulled the top one out, and then you had me read it, and I was like, "I've never done this before. We'll see how it goes."
Okay, so we had somebody come on there and say yes, thanks, Todd. I knew Todd would do it.
I did too.
So, let's do a 1-card reading. The question that I have it pertains to everything that is still going on.
Okay.
Is the journey that I'm going through going to be, I guess that's a pretty specific question. What type of journey is ahead for me?
Okay. Pick the deck up and shuffle, and then I'll have you cut them as well.
Yo, I'm gonna do it over here so it ain't so loud on the. I'm gonna do it right in front of you.
And while he's doing that too, I've seen different ways of shuffling the cards based on people's hand sizes. I've seen them do the traditional what Bill's doing. I've seen them where they just lay the cards out on the table and just kind of take their hands and go all over and shuffle them that way. I've also seen where people will lay them all out face down and they run their hands over the top until they get some sort of feeling about a card or a group of cards, and then they'll pull those cards out. So there's all sorts of different ways that I've seen these types of readings be done, and it kind of depends on the individual reader, and also as well as, are they reading for themselves or are they reading for another person? All of those things go into effect.
Ooh, I'm about to knock the computer over. Easy, Ghost Hunts. All right. All right.
Okay.
What's next?
So you have
Which card?
so the Eight of Pentacles reversed. So I'm going to run that up to the camera so everyone can see it real quick.
No, you're good. You're all right. Good. Cool. And we'll talk about when he's done what he meant by reversed versus.
Yeah. So we'll start with the reverse. Typically, when a card, when I'm reading, if it looks upside down to me, I consider that a reverse. Now, of course, if someone's sitting on the opposite side of me, what's reversed to me is right side up for them. That's why I go based off of my point of view. Is it upside down or is it right side up? Now, this one's the Eight of Pentacles, and it's reversed. And so what I would say with this particular card for you, Bill, is you have been misled a little bit. I don't know one way or another where or what kind of misleading it was, but essentially there's this idea that you had this expectation that you were going to put all of this work into something, and then you were going to get an answer at the end of this process.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, that's actually Nine of Pentacles, not Eight. Sorry, this is Nine of Pentacles. Eight is something totally different. I knew I was going to mess up my Roman numerals. And so that's typically this idea of the fruit of your labors. Okay, you put in the hard work, and
Hi, Julie.
and you get the fruit at the end of it. This is saying, for me, right here, right now, that's not what's going to happen. It's not a clear cut series of steps that you can go through and then get an answer at the very end. It's there's going to be a lot of dead ends, things that you try and don't lead you anywhere. There's a lot of twists and turns that you'll encounter. And what I would actually say for this is, this advice-wise is telling you to stop actively seeking the answer. What you have to do is you have to let things play out and unfold the way that they're going to, and in time, everything will start to make sense. And it's not going to be a conscious shift. It's not going to be one of those things where all of a sudden you have this epiphany and it all just makes sense.
Okay.
Gradually over time, you'll come to an understanding either what it is you're going through or why you're going through it, and most likely both. You probably won't get answers to both sides of that at the same time. So you might start to have more of an understanding of what is happening before you understand why it's happening. Or it might be vice versa. You have a better understanding of why it's happening before you really know what's actually going on.
Okay.
So what I would say for you is to stop actively trying to figure out the answers. And I know you know what I'm talking about with that because we've had discussions before. But stop doing things intentionally to try and find the answers to what's going on, because all that's going to do is that's going to mislead you. It's going to take you to wrong places. It'll lead you to dead ends, and you're going to get frustrated, and you're going to get worked up, and it's just not going to be conducive to what you want, ultimately.
Okay. So just let nature take its course.
Yep.
What will happen will happen.
Mm-hmm.
What shouldn't happen is not going to happen.
Exactly.
All right. Verfignugan. Okay, so real quick, I'm gonna take this card real quick. So you saw when he flipped the card. If it would have come up straight up and down, like you could read it like normal, that would be a normal card. When he said it was reversed, it's because the card was upside down. So, and it does change the meaning of the card and the meaning of the reading. So I've been slowly learning different things about different cards, and I start to look at them and start to see more things involved in each card. Does that mean that I should slow down, as in slow down on my guidance and what I'm looking for, or should I still keep seeking the guidance and just let happen what's going to happen? Because there's a snail in this picture. And if it was this way, I'd say yes, but things are coming at a slower pace.
Okay, yeah.
He's upside down. So the snail is not, I don't know if that has any meaning into it.
Not for me, or at least not for this reading.
Okay.
I know some readers do what you do, and they talk about what they're seeing physically in the card, and then piece the puzzle together that way.
Okay.
And there are times where I have felt the need to do that, but this was not one of those instances. I think in this case, if you were to look at that and try and figure out where that fits in, I would ultimately say that it leads to that interference or that inhibition that I was talking about, where if you intend to find a solution, all it's going to do is make things harder for you, because you'll reach dead ends. Or
so stop intently looking for the answer.
Yes.
Keep doing kind of what I'm doing, but not looking for the answer.
Correct.
Doing the meditations, trying to sleep, which doesn't work, and let what's going to happen.
Yes.
Alrighty.
As hard as that's going to be for you to do.
No,
I know this is an issue that's been bugging you for a while.
But this also dwells into something else, and I'm wondering if, sometimes we can get, and I call them clouded readings, where the person asks a specific question, just like I just did, but there's other things going on in their life. And I know everybody has so many things going on in their life right now. Kids, family members, work, that 4-letter word, work. It's just everything going on in their life, and everything that's going on. Can it get clouded that way? So, because I know where I work there's a lot of new processes that are changing, and I want these answers. I want to understand these things, but every time I turn around, they seem to change the rules. So it's honestly, it's that reading that could go towards what I've been going through and what I'm seeking on the out, not at work, but it really goes towards what I'm dealing with at work, because no matter what, and I could care less about getting a thank you. I could care less about getting an attaboy. I don't care about awards. But sometimes it just seems like, what we're dealing with and what I'm going through at work, it seems like you go, and you make it. And there's no time for any of that. It's just, okay, here's the next problem. Go at it again.
Right.
And and that is life. People, that's life. Life is going to beat you up. It's going to tear you down. It's going to make things to where you don't understand. Why are we going through this? Why are we going through that? Sometimes, and I've been starting to feel this a lot lately. My biggest thing was always who, what, where, why, and when. I got to know those 4 answers. 5 answers. Sorry, my math sucks. But I've stopped asking about certain ones. I never stop asking the question why.
I was going to say, does it depend on the situation that determines which one you don't ask?
Big time. Very big time. So, well, this is interesting. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. So, to kind of recap, because we're just about out of time here. One thing we actually talked about the other day, we were just discussing some things, and I want to throw this out there to everybody. So recap real quick. We went through the different crystals, talked about certain things that can be used to help protect you, to enhance things, to try to work. I'm getting that one right there.
Or like 20.
Yeah, I'm gonna find me one of those. I'm gonna embed it in my skull. Not that way. That'd hurt. Like, no, just kidding. Find the crystal that works for you. And like Jake said, if you put it in your hand, don't close your hand around it, because if it starts getting hot, it could be your
body heat.
your body heat, your mitts doing that, your bear paws doing that. Put it in your hand and just let it sit there. If it feels ice cold and it stays that way, probably not a stone for you. But if it feels like it's warming up and you're like, hey, this almost feels comfortable, I guess is the easiest way to say it, then that's probably a stone for you. And dig into it, do some research, and find out what that stone does, what the properties are of that stone that helps you. The tarot, if you want to get into tarot, you can buy these cards almost anywhere.
Barnes and Noble's even got them.
But take your time. Don't rush into it thinking, I'm going to study all these cards, I'm going to know exactly what's going on with every one of them. And
all you're going to do is get frustrated.
yeah, you'll just let your cards, spend time with your cards. Let the cards talk to you, which is the hardest thing to do sometimes, because cards don't speak, but they do. Remember, they do. Like the dead talk to us too. But I want to jump into another topic real quick that we've been discussing lately. A lot of us have, when it comes to doing paranormal investigation. Don't put your blinders on. Don't think that I saw this on TV, it's got to work. And it's the only thing we're allowed to do. EMF detectors, spirit boxes, crystals, tarot cards. These are the only things I can use. Try something different. Open your mind, try something. Science has taught us one thing, that we have to try because we're going to fail at things. Take this time to try different things. We have experiments coming up that we know we're going to be doing. That we don't know if they're going to work or not, but we're still going to give them a shot. We have projects that you and I are working on. I'm working on one with Drew, and I have a couple more projects that I'm working on that you guys aren't even aware of. Try these projects out. Try little things. You don't have to spend a whole lot of money to try them. I don't suggest, unless you're really good with electronics, that you build a thing like this. Unless you want to try it, but study on it. Learn each one of the aspects. Know your equipment. Know what it was meant for in the beginning of it. Understand that an EMF detector was actually designed to look for high radio frequency or electric frequency in an area to make sure that your house was safe, or make sure an area was safe to be in. That's what it was originally found for, but it does work for us. It does work for paranormal investigations. Take the time to understand what your equipment does. Understand what a flashlight does. I know that sounds really stupid. Sorry. Understand what this little thing does. It puts off light. We all know this. But what are the other properties? What else can it be used for? Not a lot of things that we use nowadays, if we're talking about spirits that are really old, not a lot of spirits,
they're not going to know how to interact.
Aren't going to know what this is. That was one of the reasons I built this as a pyramid. Even in the 30s, the 20s, in newspapers, they were talking about the pyramids.
Yeah, they knew what the pyramids were.
They know what this shape is. Now, they might not know why it lights up, but they're going to know what this shape is. Try to understand what you're dealing with and what you're doing. Know your equipment. Try new things. Try it. As crazy as an idea may sound, you may hit on something that you go, oh my God, that really works. Try it. That's all I got to say. Give it a shot. Don't become narrow-banded when you're doing your paranormal investigations. We talk about it. I hate using the word ghost hunting. I know it's right here behind me, but that's who we work for. But I think paranormal investigation is better to me. But if we break it down as far as hunting, and we'll do this we'll talk about that next week. So there, I'll leave it right there. We'll talk about the aspect of hunting next week about and how it works into the whole paranormal thing. So, Jake, thanks for being here with me.
Yeah.
This is
no
awesome.
problem.
We didn't have to listen to Michelle and Kelly giggle and babble on about things. Love you, Michelle and Kelly. Mostly Kelly. I'm going to pay for that one bad. Thank you guys very much for being here. Mason, Larry, Julie, Todd, Stephanie, Brittany, Tristan, Diana, Kelly, Aaron. Thank you guys all for being on here with us tonight. We'll hopefully see you soon. If you're looking for a place to go and you can't get to us, the 30th of March is the, what do they call it? I can't even remember the name of it now.
Study hall.
Study hall up at Farrar. Look it up. There's links on our websites, on our Facebook page here to get tickets. We're going to be doing some things there. Then we're also going to be doing some different things with Ghost Hunts USA right behind me here, right here. Ghost Hunts USA. Go there. They have some new sites. One they just opened up in Illinois that we got one or two dates on right now. I think it's only one. I think they're trying to see how well it's going to go. Go there, take a look. If you find out if it's close to you and you want to go ahead and jump on it if you can. If you can afford it, you can do it. We'd love to meet you guys. We'd love to talk with you guys. Love to sit down and see things. But thank you very much again, Jake. Congratulations on joining the Ghost Hunts family, Ghost Hunts USA family, that is. So from Bill and Jake, right here at Riverside Iowa Paranormal, for Kelly, Drew, Michelle, Amy, am I leaving anybody out? Dom, Big Dom, and Dana. How do you put up with him, Dana? That's all I want to know. Just kidding. Dom's awesome. So, thank you guys very much for being here. Thanks for everything you do. I want to throw one big shout out to all the men and women serving in the United States military and the armed forces. Thank you for everything you do, that you keep us safe so we can sit here and do what we do. To all the veterans out there that serve their time, thank you for what you've done, from one veteran to the rest of you guys. Thanks for your service. Thanks for everything that you did. And thank you to our future generations that are going to be going out there and serving us. You guys are awesome. We'll see you later. And last thing I guess we have to say is we'll see you in the dark. Thanks, guys. Good night.